Oh, we are celebrating here.
Yes. The celebration has begun. The countdown has started. So yes, we are super excited. Oh my God. Akwa Ibom chapter is having a blast. Look at that.
Can you see what is happening?
This is
they are not
beautiful.
waiting. They are not waiting for tomorrow already. They started today.
No, they are not waiting. No, they said, look, our own celebration is going to start early. And that's the beauty of this, when you bring people across the globe together for one cause, leadership and empowerment. That's what happens. All right. Welcome to another beautiful day in this masterclass today. We definitely are excited to be rounding off this wonderful series today. And we have a beautiful speaker who's going to close us out with a bang. I promise you that. Our speaker is going to be closing us out with a bang, and we are
She's not in the house.
She's not here
yet.
Yes, I was looking for her to be there, but she's not here yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
while we wait for her, definitely we want to know where you're tuning in from. We already see Akwa Ibom. We already see them in the chat. They're up here celebrating. You can see the excitement in everyone's faces. I mean, this is such a huge milestone for AWLO. So just a few housekeeping rules, guys. Of course, as always, when you join the meeting, make sure you are muted out. And once you mute yourself out, you have multiple options to communicate and interact during the session. We have the chat box, and I want you guys to use the chat box. Make use of it. Put all of your emojis in there. Put all of your congratulatory messages in there. And of course, once the speaker gets in here and she starts to share, feel free to encourage and to give your feedback in there as well. Another thing that we have here is the reaction button. That is the react, how you react. If you want to send some hearts, any type of emojis, you definitely can use the reaction button, but also for the hand raised option. So now if you want to raise your hands when it's time to ask questions, you definitely want to use the hand raise button for that. So that way we can bring you up to ask your questions once the keynote speaker is done with her session. Well, I'm going to invite our leader, President Honorable Dr. Elijah Atai, to open us up with an opening remark. And of course, guys, today is the last day of the masterclass, but tomorrow is the D-Day. That is the day for us to gather all over the globe, all over the world, to celebrate this wonderful organization. And I'm going to be sharing more information as we go along. So guys, let's hear from our leader before we bring up our speaker, while I search the room to ensure that our speaker is right here. I think she's here. I can see her already.
Yeah, our speaker is already waiting.
Yeah.
She's in the Zoom hall already. Wow. I love the energy. I love what I know, having some chapters already celebrating, preparing for tomorrow makes it so exciting. It was so nice seeing Akwa Ibom chapter members having that party. That is wonderful. We hope to see the video again as we move along. And of course, we hope to see the pictures of what they are doing. But tomorrow, we're letting the world know that we've come a long way. We've come a long way. It's not been easy, but God has been there. He's been so faithful. And I look around. Today I was just discussing with my brother, who just joined now. I said, oh, come, let's just look back. Let's check our members who started with us, where they are today. And we're just looking and checking, and those who have been with us, who have been, who've been there, unshakable, those who are also connected and run with the connection that they have received, being part of this great movement. We always say this every time, that in AWLO it's an environment for you to connect, so that you can collect. Because in life you must connect first before you can collect. You can just stay in your comfort zone, just stay in one place, and you don't get to know someone like SIKA TWUM. You don't get to know someone like Victor Cletus, Fatuma Diarra, Reverend Chidi, Udoagetuk, Mary Makuka, you know, it's the platform that God have, you know, put together so that women and like-minded leaders can connect so that they can collect. And it's also a platform for men who believe in gender parity to come and see how they can be male ally with women. You know, gender equality is what we stand for. And for us to have made this world a better place, then we have to make it a suitable place for everyone. And that's why we're here celebrating 15 years of impact. We'll talk more about this organization tomorrow by the grace of God when we'll be celebrating. But today, I don't want to waste because she is so loaded, she's ready. You need to hear this woman. You know, anybody that is not here today, oh my God, I don't know. Well, you watch the video. So I hereby hand over to a very dynamic, the moderator of the year, MC of the decade, to take it from there and introduce this wonderful, phenomenal woman. For those who don't know, this is our Vice President of AWLO Ghana, a very vibrant woman. Let me not take the work of the MC. Dr. Onya, are you there?
I am here. I am here. I am here. I am here, sir.
I'm searching for you. I'm searching
Yes.
for you because you should be
Okay,
on
no
spotlight.
problem. No problem. No problem. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
here, sir. Yes.
Okay, good.
Let's
Good.
go. Let's
So
go. I'm
over to you.
excited. Yes.
Introduce this amazing woman to us,
In
please.
fact, I have to do justice to this introduction because, first of all, you know, we say out here in the States, black don't crack, because, you know, she looks so beautiful. Your skin is glowing. It's giving everything that it needs to give today. So welcome, Miss SIKA TWUM. And now I'm going to introduce our wonderful speaker for today. Miss SIKA is a seasoned leadership coach, trainer, facilitator, career development consultant, and speaker with a combination of 30 years professional experience. That in itself is worthy of an applause. As the coach for MTN Women in Technology and other reputable organizations, SIKA has helped her clients, both male and female, across their to access their authentic confidence, gain self-love, and own their voice and visibility. Now, let's dive deeper. She is a certified human resource practitioner and trainer for the American Certification Institute in the US, and a certified international Gestalt and Systems Development practitioner from the Gestalt Center for Organization and Systems Development in Cleveland, USA. Now, that is a mouthful, but I know it definitely means she's a powerful woman in technology. All right, let's keep going. SIKA is the founder and CEO of Self-Search Ghana Limited, a human development solutions firm. She is the career development consultant for WUSC, a Canadian government-sponsored project where she's responsible for training counselors and certifying them as career service providers. Ma, are you hiring? Because look, I need to come work with you. SIKA is also the lead career consultant for UWZ Partner Africa Project, a German federal ministry for economic cooperation funded project to train TVET counselors with career service provider skills and develop a toolkit for them to help students transition from electrical engineering into solar energy related occupations. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to relax. I want you to sit tight. Get ready to soak in all of the knowledge that this wonderful woman of God is about to share with us today. Help me welcome AWLO with the heart that you have all around the globe, Miss SIKA TWUM, to the stage. Welcome, Ma. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to learning from you. You have the floor.
Thank you so much. The energy is so much over there. And it's a pleasure to be here this evening to engage with all of you on the eve of our 15th anniversary. Now, my topic, I know I have 40 minutes, and I'm going to do my best to deliver within 40 minutes. My topic is breaking free of inner barriers to become your best self. Now, this topic, I must say, was crafted for a certain target market. It was crafted for women leaders and executives between the ages of 35 to 65 who are going through transitions and who feel stuck. Okay, they may feel stuck either because of health-related issue. They may feel stuck because of relationship, maybe looking for love or coming out of love. They may feel stuck because of business or their career transitioning, and they feel stuck. Now, there are three observations that I have made, which informed my creation of this topic. Now, each of the observations is going to form a subtopic for this broad topic. So my first observation has been that many times between the ages of 35 to 65, we tend to be stuck in our ways. So we have done things in a certain way, and we believe that whatever transition or whatever challenge we go through, we can use the same mindset and the same method to solve it. And we tend to forget Albert Einstein's statement that you can't do the same thing the same way and get a different result. And also that the challenges that we face today cannot be solved at the same level of thinking that we had when we created it. So my first topic would be on shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset in the process of breaking through your inner barrier to become your best self. Now, my second topic, subtopic under this broad topic, would be another observation I have made. In my 32 years professional experience, I have observed that the main reason or the main thing that makes it difficult for women within that age bracket to create the kind of life they want or to step into their zone of greatness or to maximize their potential has to do with identity. That is our self-concept, the way we see ourselves, the way we see others, and the way we see life. So my second subtopic for this evening will be looking at self-concept, we'll be looking at inner barriers, the inner barriers that we women, we tend to have. The third and final observation has to do with empowerment, okay? In as much as women empowerment and gender parity has helped us, it has also created a problem in the sense that women are tending to adopt male systems of power instead of sourcing from their feminine system of power. So my last topic would be how to source from your feminine system of power to become your best self. So if we are ready, I am ready to start. So three areas. I'll be looking at shifting from fixed to growth mindset. I'll be looking at self-image, three core inner barriers we tend from your feminine power. It's inviting all of you to just cast your mind back to when you were growing up. And some of the things that were said about you, some of the things that were said about others to you, some of the things that were said about life. So I'll use my own example. When I was growing up, some of the things that were said about me was that I remember my father used to say things, Joyce, my first name is Joyce, so it's Joyce SIKA TWUM. He said, Joyce, you like to talk. Joyce, you like to talk. Okay. And for me, the meaning I gave to it was that talking was not good. Okay. And then at the same time, I also used to be told the woman is supposed to be seen and not heard. Okay. And so you would go to places where you have a view, but because you want to be a woman, a lady is supposed to be seen and not heard, you keep quiet. Okay, so it was imprinting in my subconscious. I was also told things like, don't trust people. And I'm sure some of you have had that experience. Growing up, parents may have had certain experiences and therefore projected onto you not to trust people. And then I've also heard things like, life is hard. Okay, so all of this is imprinted in your subconscious. You can think about your own. So the question now is, if the topic, remember, is breaking free from your inner barriers to becoming your best self. And so the first step to breaking free is shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Okay, and what's a fixed mindset? When we talk about a fixed mindset, we mean situations in which you feel that your skills and your behaviors are unchanging and they are fixed. So you hear people say things like, this is how I am. Okay, I can't do anything about it. That's how I've been brought up. They see conflicts and they see feedback as a personal criticism. Okay, from a fixed mindset, they feel that an example would be somebody who has had a series of relationships that have not worked. From a fixed mindset, the person would say things like, well, you know, I have had 3, 4, 5 relationships that did not work, so love is not for me. Okay, that's coming from a fixed mindset. Now, what that mindset does for us or to us is that it creates a situation where you don't open yourself up to possibility. Okay, it closes you up to possibility. It closes you up to creativity away from others. That is, it closes you up to resources as well. Because when people want to share or speak on something to you, you would say, but that's how I am. I can't do anything about it. So that's what the fixed mindset does for you. So inviting you to shift into the growth mindset. Growth mindset is the kind of mind that sees that there is possibility for growth. Okay, they see that mistakes and challenges and setbacks are opportunities to grow and to expand your capacity. Okay, they are open to learning and to growing from feedback. And they can see failures as opportunities to catalyze their future success. And they see conflict and breakdowns as normal parts of growth. Okay, and therefore for them, breakdown is more or less leads to breakthrough for them. Okay, that is a growth mindset. So remember, I'm saying the first step to break free of your inner barriers to becoming your best self is to shift from a fixed mindset of this is how I am going through a transition and I feel stuck, but this is how I have done it all the time. And I said, as Einstein said, you can't do the same thing the same way and expect a different result. And so shifting into a growth mindset is the first step. Now, just for you to experience it, I'm going to ask you to do something. Now, I'm going to just take a deep breath, okay? Take a deep, I'd like you to think about that problem, the area of health or wellness. It may be in the area of love and relationship. It may be in the area of your business or career. Just listening that you feel stuck, okay? And step into a fixed mindset mode. Step into a fixed mindset mode. And write down the words that you say when you are in that mode, a fixed mindset mode, and write down the words that you say to yourself when you are in that mode. And ask yourself this question, and I'm asking you this question: what is or isn't possible when you operate in this mindset? What is or isn't possible when you operate in this mindset? I'm going to ask you to take another deep breath and shift, okay, into growth mindset. And lead yourself into curiosity and ask yourself this question. I wonder how I might look at this problem in a new creative way. I wonder how I might look at this problem in a new creative way. Now suspend every form of judgment about what it means about who you are, what the problem means about who you are, or who others are, or what life is. Suspend that judgment and commit to finding a solution as a powerful creator yourself, and ask yourself, what would be a new way of looking at this problem or challenge or setback? And the question I put to you on that is, what new possibilities are opening up for you when you shift into the growth mindset? So that's something I just want you to feel and experience. Now I'm moving into my second observation, which caused me to create the topic breaking free from your inner barrier. The second one has to do with our self-concept. And I said that for us women, usually within the age bracket of 25 to 65, what stands in the way of us creating the kind of life we want, whether it has to do with health or wellness or relationship, is our identity, how we see ourselves, how we see others, and how we see life. Okay. Now I'd like to read something to you. So our self-esteem or our inner barrier, the word inner barrier can also be referred to as invisible block. It's invisible because it's within your subconscious. You don't even realize it. Okay, so your inner barrier or your invisible block is a set of beliefs about yourself, about others, about life, that and what is possible for you or what is not possible for you, that is standing in the way or affecting your ability to transform, to evolve, and to self-actualize. Okay, that is an inner barrier. That is what we call inner barrier or invisible blocks. Okay, now unless that is broken, you keep going in circles. Now, referring back to what I said about the way we are wired as women, we are wired to take care of everybody. We are wired to, to not to listen to ourselves. This does is that it creates four things within our self-concept. So it creates what we call the confidence gap. So you find that, for instance, a man sees an advert and he feels he has the qualifications to apply. He will go ahead and apply. Just give it a shot. Now, a woman must be 85% sure, okay, that she has every little thing that it takes before she applies. She will say, basically, can I speak? So there's always confidence gap. Then it also creates what we call a self for ourselves. Okay, so you would say that, okay, I've been employed and I have the same qualification, the same set of experiences, same skills with a man. You say, okay, you can pay him more. You pay me a little, at least pay me something. Okay, so we not to expect much for ourselves. And it also results in what we call a socialized mind, where we always want everybody to approve of what we do before we do it. So we'll say, hey, what will people say? What will people say? I want to take this decision, but what will people say? And then the last thing it does is that it creates what we call a power penalty, where we women ourselves put down other women who want to self-actualize. Okay, we'll say things, why do you want to do a PhD? You'll be taken care of. A man will marry you. So why do you want to push yourself that? So it creates all of that. So all of that become inner barriers. Now, it says that the self-concept, our self-concept is therefore made up of a matrix of three of beliefs. Okay, a matrix of beliefs about yourself, a matrix of beliefs about others, and a matrix of beliefs about life and what is possible or not possible for you. Now, this person says it well. I mean, Dr. Claire Zammit, and she says, and I'm going to read it. She said, it is what informs our expectation. It is the underlying sense of what we deserve to have or not have. Our behavior, our choices, and decisions. And it is the underlying filter through which we interpret and respond to our experiences. So using the example of a woman who has had several relationships that have not worked, she says to herself, well, I have had several relationships that have not worked, so love is not for me. Okay? And so you find that because she says that, there's no way she can experience great love on top of the belief that love is not for her. Okay, now I'm going to go through three inner barriers that, to be core, you find it within our leadership, you find it within relationships, our health, and the way we see ourselves. And there are three, and one is, I am not enough. I have the belief, a number of women have the belief that they are not enough. Now, this comes from a place of scarcity and lack. And I'm going to read to you how you know that your inner barrier is I'm not enough. Okay? I'm going to read to you some of the signs. Now, so the person who has that barrier, that inner barrier, that invisible block, that belief that she's not enough, this is how it shows up. You take responsibility for other people's happiness, satisfaction, and fulfillment. That's one And as I'm saying it, just begin to think about yourself and ask if it resonates with you, okay? This inner barrier of I'm not enough. Now, you feel you have to do more than everyone else to get the same amount of success or recognition. So sometimes women will say, I have to do much more. For me you don't have to. It's because it's coming from an inner barrier of not feeling enough. Okay. And it's also another sign of how it shows up. You feel as
Is she having connection issues, sir? Do you see it hanging on your end, or is it just my end?
Yeah, it's hanging. I think she's having
okay, network issues.
It appears she's having connection issues.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just give it a minute. I'm sure she'll be right back. But who else is enjoying, her presentation so far? I mean, she's discussing some very deep issues that women, we
very
kind of go through, this imposter syndrome, thinking we're not enough and we're not good enough. And she's going to give us some tools to overcome those barriers. So please, guys, I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're making mental and physical notes, because statistics shows that we retain just a little bit of information, not up to 20% when we hear it the first time. And it usually takes about 7 times to repeatedly come in contact with information for it to truly resonate and create transformational change in us. So I hope everyone has their notes. Like, I'm sure if you see my background here, I have like 2 journals and I've been taking notes all this time. So please do yourself a favor and soak in all this knowledge, but keep a good record so that by the time you leave this year's celebration, by next year, you are much better than you are this year. All right, I think she is back. So let's get her back in focus. Now we can. Yes, we can, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. So I think where I stopped was the effect you're feeling, your inner barrier of I'm not enough has on others. The first is that others feel that no matter what they do, it's never enough for you, no matter how they love you. There's also become overly dependent on you, and they feel entitled to have you do more for less. Okay? And usually it stems from your belief of others. You believe that others do not value you. You believe that others want more from you than they do from others. Okay? The belief you have about life when you have that inner barrier of I'm not enough is that you believe that there is not enough to go around. That's how you feel, that there isn't enough to go around. There isn't enough money. There isn't enough time. There isn't enough to go around. Now, the things that you do or the way that you behave to generate this evidence is that you covertly say self-depreciating, self-diminishing things about yourself. You say things like that for me, I'm not good at. No, that's for me, I can't do this. No. That's how you do to more or less to generate the evidence. You do things from a sense of obligation rather than because you love them. So you do, if it's a relationship, you are in it for a sense of obligation. If it's your work, it's a sense of obligation. It comes from a place of an inner barrier of not feeling enough. Okay? And it says you set impossible standards of success for yourself and for others. Okay, so that's what the inner barrier of not being enough. This is how it displays. Now, the other one, which is I'm invisible. That's another inner barrier. I said I'm not enough, I'm invisible, I'm alone. Okay, so the one who has that inner barrier of being invisible, this is how it shows up. You are disconnected from your own feelings, needs, and desires. Your feelings and needs are invisible to you. Okay, so you don't connect with your feelings or your needs, because after all, we are brought up to make sure everybody is okay. So your husband is okay, your pastor is okay, your children are okay. So you tend to disconnect from your own feeling. Okay, you don't assert your feelings feelings or your needs and desires, even when you are aware of them. Okay, so you're in a relationship and you find, or you're in the workplace and there's something you don't like. Because you feel invisible, you find it difficult to assert your needs. You find it difficult to say, you know what? I didn't like what you said. You know what? This hurts me. You find it difficult to do that. Now, you find yourself doing chronic selfless service when you have that inner barrier of invisibility. Okay, you find yourself doing chronic service. So you are doing service for your church, service for everybody but yourself, and you're exhausted and you're tired. Okay, now the effect it tends to have on others when you have this inner barrier of being invisible is that others tend to be unaware of your feeling, needs, and desires. So people are not aware that you are hurting. People are not aware that you are disappointed because you don't show it and you don't say it. It's disregard or skip over you, forgetting to ask how you feel, and forgetting to ask how a certain thing affects you. Okay. Now, this stems also from a belief you have about others. When you see yourself as invisible, when you have that inner barrier of others don't care about you. You feel others don't care about you. You feel others are selfish. Okay. The belief you have about life is that it is dangerous to be seen, and that the world does not need what you have to offer. Okay? Now, the things that you do that validate this feeling or this inner barrier of invisibility is that you ask for what you want or need in ways that are attacking or assuming that others should know and they should care and they should know that you are tired or they should know. So you ask in a way that is attacking, coming from a place that others don't care about you, okay? The other thing that you do to validate this is that you disappear when you don't get what you need or you want. So you leave, or you instead of asking directly for what you want, you leave or hang in there or do it yourself. Okay, that's coming from an inner barrier of invisibility. Okay, so I'm going into the third and last one, which is the three core ones that are underlining inner barriers that we tend to have. So the last one is I'm alone. Okay, and how this shows up is that you experience a low-grade chronic depression and deep sense of sadness. Having given up hope of ever being deeply connected to other people. You rarely ask for support because you think it's a sign of weakness. You don't want people to know that you need help. You don't want people to know that you don't have. Okay, and you rarely ask for support, or you ask in ways that alienate others. And you do it by either whining or complaining, and about what you need without coming, and you do it in such a way that you don't come out to say exactly what you need for the people to understand it. Okay, now usually you also feel chronically under-supported when you have that inner barrier of I'm alone. Now, the belief you tend to have about others is that you believe others always leave you. So you find that you have situations when people come into your life and the next moment they are gone. They come into your life, the next moment they are gone. Okay, because there's this inner barrier of I'm alone, which shows up without you seeing. And there's this saying, what you focus on, you attract. Okay, and there's always, so that's one thing. People always leave you. Often people do not give you what you need from them. That's the belief you have about others. Now, the effect your behavior, that is this inner barrier, the effect it has on others is that you find that others find you unapproachable. Okay, others have a difficult time finding how to support you. They don't know how to support you. Okay, and others assume you do not need anything from them. It's that life can be really sad and lonely. And the ways in which you validate this is that you avoid joining collective gatherings. So you like to be alone, you want to read your self-help books, it is me, myself, and I kind of syndrome. So these three describe the core inner barriers or invisible blocks that we tend to have. You may have a combination of, I'm not enough, I'm invisible. You may have one, you may have two, you may have three. I mean, if I had time, I would find out which people can connect with I'm not enough. If they could put yes on the platform, which people can connect with I'm invisible, which people can connect with I'm alone. Okay, now I'm going to shift to the last observation. So basically what I've said so far, recollecting the topic, is breaking free from your inner barrier in order to become your best self. I'm saying that you need to first shift from a fixed mindset of that is how I am to a growth mindset that challenges are all part of life. Breakdowns lead to breakthroughs, okay, in order for going through where you feel stuck in a completely different way. And doing things is not the same way that you should continue to do them if you want to shift, okay? Now I'm moving into the final subtopic on this major topic, which is what I said, that I have observed over the years, that in as much as gender parity has helped us and empowerment has helped us as women, there's now a problem without a name. And the problem without a name is that we are now owning the masculine system of power and shifting from the feminine system of power, which is powerful in itself and which can help us to break free of our inner barrier. So to explain that, I'm going to just give you a little bit insight into power itself. And then I'll move into what our power is as women and how we can become our best self by honing in and sourcing from our feminine power and not from our masculine system of power, okay? So let me give a definition of power that really excited me when I was looking at various definitions. It's by Cantor, 1977, and he says the definition of power for him is the ability to get things done, to mobilize resources, to use whatever it is that a person needs for a goal he or she is attempting to meet. I'll take that again. It says the ability to get things done, to mobilize resources and use whatever he or she is attempting to meet, okay? Now we express power over. There's power over, there's power with, there's power within, and power to, okay? So power over tends to be a masculine system of power, okay? Power, which uses force, it dominates, sometimes represses. What I call a dominator power, okay? And it's they will control you, okay? So what it does to the recipient is that it leads to some kind of feeling of not being being powerless. It causes the other party to feel powerless because power over is viewed as a commanding, a commodity that more or less you generate, and it results in conflict and it fosters rigid mindset. So that's power over. And I'm saying that a number of us have shifted into that masculine system of power where we feel the only way by which we can control, the only way by which people can feel us, our role, is when it's power over. But then there's also power with. Okay, remember I said it's power over, power with, power to, okay, and power within. So the power with, this is the kind of power that emerges in group work, okay, which multiplies and accommodates individual talents and knowledge and builds bridges across, builds bridges. That is power with. It finds and builds common bridges, actually, through mutual support and collaboration. And that's quite feminine. Okay, well, that's quite feminine. And then there's the power within. Okay. Now, the power within is intuitive, and that sourcing from your inner knowing, which women have. That's why sometimes, and now we don't even want to listen to it anymore. But we have that inner power to tell when your spouse is doing something and he hasn't told you. You sense it. Is that power? It's so powerful, such powerful power that we are subjecting to the background. But it's an inner knowing that you cannot place your hand on. There are times that you are interviewing somebody, and you have that inner knowing, in spite of the person's qualifications and everything. You have that inner knowing that that person will not do as good in this organization. Just that you can't place your hand on what it is, but it's an inner knowing that is powerful, that must be tapped into. Okay, so that's the power within. Then we have the power to. The power to is a type of collaborative power. It's the unique potential of energy that a person has to shape his or her own life and wealth. Okay, it is that power that you have that allows you to enter into network, into relationships in which you are able to influence and able to persuade others. Now, what I said is that the power over tends to be a masculine system of power. And for you to break free and for you to enter into becoming your best self, the three powers that are ours as women is power within. That's our intuitive power, our inner power to, the power to bring people together. Sometimes look at the situations where the people are quarreling and they are men. A woman comes in and tampers the thing down and has a way of this is our power. Okay. And so basically what we're saying is that the masculine system, feminine system of power is relationship with others. So we have what we call the transpersonal best friend and interpersonal, we call that intrapersonal. Okay, relationship with self. This is the power found when you break free from your inner barriers of I'm not enough and I'm invisible, and you begin to own who you are and love who you are and tap into your inner self and your inner resource. Okay, that is the intrapersonal. So we are saying that if our power is relational, then the first way in which we can break free from our inner barrier, okay, to break free from your fears, okay, to become your authentic self, embody authentic confidence. And then the other is relationship with others, okay? So the relationship with others is what we call interpersonal, okay? That's our power. Remember that I said our feminine strength comes from relational. So the relationship with self, relationship with others, and relationship with life. So relationship with others is where you are able to connect with others, where you are able to connect to co-create. Our president will say we cannot collect when you don't connect. Okay, and that comes from, and he has his feminine side very alive. I see that. Okay, and that comes from a place of intrapersonal, and then interpersonal, and then we have the intrapersonal, which is relationship with God, relationship with the higher power, relationship knowing that when I always say the whole universe is connecting towards your success, that the universe is not against you, it's for you. Okay, so in breaking free from your inner barriers, what we basically do is that we help you to connect with yourself. We help you to identify your inner barrier, break free from that inner barrier, begin to love who you are, begin to own your voice and visibility, rid yourself of your fears. We help you to connect with others. And so that feeling of others can be trusted and I'm not good enough, and all of that becomes a thing of the past. And we help you to connect with the universe, to connect with God, and to see that the system is not against you, but it's for you. Now, I'd like to, end by sharing a statement that Ronald Reagan made that statement. And whenever I hear it, it really resonates with me. He said, there are no constraints on the human mind, no walls around the human spirit, no barriers to our progress, except those we ourselves erect. Thank you so much. I'm open to questions now.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Barring all the technical issues and everything, that was indeed a powerful message. We truly, truly appreciate everything. And of course, a lot of things resonated with me. You know, we are the only barriers that we have to really fight through. And as long as we stay rooted and grounded in God, and we find a way to have an open mind, and of course, believe in the abundance and availability of what's available, everything else is already there for us. Nobody is against us. We are really in a place of abundance. So thank you so much for that wonderful talk. We really appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is officially open for question and answers. And I know that most people would have a lot of questions because this is definitely a very insightful topic. As we're rounding off the masterclass today, I know that you all have been taking a lot of notes, and today is a mindset shift. She wants you to shift your mind from a place of not enough to a place of abundance. So let's get those hand raise buttons together. If you can use the react. Yes, let me see. I think our speaker, okay. Let me remove the spotlight while we get everyone to get their questions together. So if you have any questions, ladies and gentlemen, please raise your hands and feel free to ask. I know that we're having a bit of a connection challenge on that side today, but we'll overcome it. You know, it's the last day, we finish strong. So please ask your questions, and let's see.
There's it is Onye.
Yes.
Somebody have raised her. Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to see that. Yeah, I'm trying to scan through the room. I don't see it on my end though, but I think it is there. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, sorry. It's
Whose
not...
hands are raised? Someone raise their hands? If you
Sorry,
raise
I
your
don't think
hands, please
so.
just unmute your mic and you can just speak up. Yes, Miss Sika is here. She's here. Our speaker is in the room. So just unmute your mic so that way she can hear you and you can ask your questions. All right, all right. Oh, technology is really showing her shege today, and I'm so sad about that. But
Yeah, so sad.
it's really just unfortunate. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. While we try to get over that, the show must go on. Is there anyone that has something to contribute to what she said? If you heard everything she talked about and you can resonate with it and you have something else to contribute towards the conversation, we'll definitely love to have that as well. So that way we can have a full, wholesome experience today. I see Reverend Chidi in the house. Good evening, sir. I see some of our speakers, Pastor Mercy in here. Good evening, ma'am. Thanks for joining us. Yes, it was such a great couple of weeks with everyone. Let me see. Of course, the First Lady is here as well. Good evening, ma'am. I hope you're doing wonderful. All right. Let me see. Who else do we have?
Hello, well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. Yes. I see Miss Fatumata here. I saw her face earlier. Our Francophone sisters. Yes, thanks for joining us. Thank you. All right, awesome. So,
Battery 100%. Connected to Redmi Note 11 Pro. Disconnected.
No, go on.
Okay, I'm like, okay, who's that? Where we connecting from? What's going on here? All right, no problem. Well, guys, listen, this is an amazing time. I'm going to quickly let President Dr. Elijah to share some details about tomorrow. So, what time do we log in and all of those things that we need to be aware of for tomorrow's celebration, so that way he can get us in the know while we hopefully wait for Miss Sika to join us, if she's able to reconnect.
Yeah.
But if not,
Network
then
have really...
I'll just round up everything
network
that she talked about today. Yes, once we get all this information for tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much. What a session, man. That's why a lot of people can't even ask questions, because it's well detailed. I can now understand when she says she's been teaching for 30 years. It's, you know, I've learned so much. And what a way to end our leadership hangouts. There's no better way than having our vice president for Ghana, a trusted, tested woman of worth, coming in to really impact and inspire us so much. And we love her. The network has not been so good with her, so friendly. And we'll deal with, I don't know the network, but she'll let us know so that we can write a petition. Like I said, we started in a very good note. We joined AWLO in their party. It's called pre-party for the 15th anniversary. That was so good to have them start with us. But tomorrow is the day. Someone just sent me a message on my phone. He said, "Oh, I'm yet to join AWLO. Can I join tomorrow event? Please, for you, you are already here. You've joined our hangout, so you are invited. Everybody is invited. Just come around. We just want to, you know, the party have been on. We've been celebrating, you know, all this from 1st of July. Chapters have been doing a lot of stuff. I know that last Sunday, although Canada, they hit the street, it was good. I've seen, but tomorrow everybody's going to showcase what they've been doing. Today, Lagos chapter painted Lagos red, and red, yellow, black, you know. So a lot have been happening to celebrate our 15th anniversary. But tomorrow is the D-Day. We're going to do it virtually. We're going to connect with all our chapters, all our members all over the world. Wear your t-shirt. I know that all the chapters, they have a t-shirt. Today I saw Ghana t-shirt. I asked the vice president to wire my own or Central DHL so that I can wear it tomorrow. You know, so put on your t-shirt. Oh, I can see a Kwaibum. Merudo, you're already showcasing your own. I'm wearing one. But tomorrow I want to wear Ghana one. They have to send me my copy or Lagos chapter. At least, look, Lagos is closer to me. Okay, so I'll get it from Lagos to wear. You know, it's not been easy since 2009. You can see what I'm wearing, so it's not a joke, but serious business. Reverend Chidi, I know you have your own in Abuja. Put it on. Everybody, if you are not a member of AWLO, please.
They need to send me one.
You know, quickly do that. You quickly do that. You know, that tomorrow, same time, 8 o'clock, we're going to share it. 8 o'clock, don't miss it. We're just going to have fun. We're going to, people that, some of our leaders will have a session to just, you know, give goodwill messages. All our VPs will give good messages. Our youth council, the he for she, all our departments, we're going to have time to really interact and have fun. And don't forget, the big one will be on the 14th of December, where we'll now celebrate the real, it's in Abuja, we call it Lagos Party, but in Abuja, you know, where we'll celebrate big time on the 14th of December, our 15th anniversary. We'll celebrate big time. Of course, we're going to induct our new members. We're going to give some of our outstanding members an award, the long-standing members. There's a lot of things going to happen. The best chapter will receive an award. So many things will happen in Abuja on the 14th of December. So if you, I was so happy to see that some members of our Canada chapter, they bought their ticket already to make sure that they don't miss Abuja. So we're going to be good. But for those who will be with us in Dallas, just in 2 weeks' time, is it 2 weeks? Yeah, like 2 weeks in Dallas, we're going to have an anniversary celebration. Trust me, they're planning, and we're going to have for the first time Ankara night. The 3rd of August, Dr. Onyu will tell you more about Ankara night. Come and showcase your fabric, African print, Ghana print, Nigeria, everywhere. We're going to have time to also celebrate. The celebration goes on till December, like we said. But tomorrow, put on your t-shirts. Let's come have fun. I want to tell you what will happen. What you see tomorrow, you get it. You take it, you know. Then for chapters, please, from morning, your things, what you've been doing, please just put it out there. Tag us, tag AWLO INT, tag me, tag our members. Let's just flood everywhere with our celebration, you know, activities. Let's just get it done. But 8 o'clock, let's meet here to round up the celebration. And after that, pack your bags, start heading to Dallas. You know, our speaker is here. We'll hand over back to our award-winning moderator.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
There's a
Thank
hand
you.
up there. There's
I think
a hand.
someone
Yeah.
raised their hand.
We have someone's hand raised. Yes, Miss George, I can see your
Yeah.
hand raised. So, Miss Sika, so sorry. We know that technology is giving you a run for your money, but look, I'm glad that you're staking in there and you're just kind of powering through with us. Thank you so much, ma'am. Miss Yemisi George, if you would like to ask a question, you can put your hand raised down on mute, unmute yourself, and then you can ask your question. Miss George, your hand is raised. You can unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, good afternoon from here and good evening. I just want to congratulate AWLO for having come this far and for everything he's doing. It's amazing. And this hangout has been one of its kind. And I said, thank you to all the speakers and thank you to the First Lady and also to the President. I just felt like contributing something to, though I joined pretty late, but I just wanted to say this, you know, talking from my experience, we sometimes get lost in the things that we've gone through. I'm talking about the trauma, I'm talking about the experience that we've been through, and most women get lost in those moments. I'll say that there's always a reason for a woman to find herself again. Find your strength again. Look inward. You cannot be limited by the things that have been said to you or by your upbringing or the things that you have experienced. There's just another chapter. Don't get drowned where you are today. Just always know that you have what it takes to be the best of yourself. Don't let anyone talk you down. Don't let marriage break you. Don't let your children break you. Now I'm talking from experience, okay? But then again, there's always the saying, which was the last thing I heard her say, that you are the only one that can limit yourself. So I want to say thank you to AWLO again. There's a woman out there that all you need to do is just find your strength. And such gathering like this, I started telling a lot of people about AWLO, and of course, we're going to be there in Dallas. Thank you. And thank you again to the speaker. That was an amazing time. Thank you.
Yeah, JBC, where are you calling from?
Well, I'm calling from the US, and that's why I said good afternoon. I'm in Oklahoma
Well,
State.
where in the US?
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Yes, and she
I
said
just
she's
wanted
going
us
to
to
be seeing us
capture
in
that.
Dallas. So, Miss Yemisi, I am excited and looking forward to meeting you in Dallas. Make sure you have your African print, your Ankara. And if you need a plug for that, you don't have African print, I'll give you a plug. I got all kinds of plugs because you got to show up with that African print. Yes, it's going to be such an amazing night. Yes. So come ready to show up and show out. All right, we have, before I take Reverend Chidi, sir, let me take the ladies first. Yes, we have Miss Nanette, who wants to ask a question. You can put your hand down on mic and unmute yourself so that you can ask your question, Miss Nanette.
Madam SIKA TWUM, thank you so much for your contribution, your presentation. My question is for interpersonal work. What suggestions do you make for practical exercise for that interpersonal building?
Nanette, where are you calling from? Let's be introducing ourselves so that others can relate with you. So when you ask a question, when you call, mention your name and where you're reaching us from.
Nanette Tuahene, I'm normally in Ghana, but I'm now in Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much. Over to our speaker. The network is not born again.
We're praying
This
over this
network is
network. Come on now.
never-
Come on now.
I think she can turn off the camera to reduce the.
Yeah, fantastic idea. Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Can you turn off your video and just Dr. can you borrow us your network from Texas?
I wish. I want to send it over.
Can you send it? Can you send it to Accra? Send it to Accra, please.
Oh my goodness, I would love to do that. That would be so helpful right now. But yeah, so
okay, so you right. So maybe you keep the question. Why why asking others? I see two
can
hands.
you repeat your question for the house? Let me hear the question again.
What practices can be put in place to build your interpersonal power?
Interpersonal, that is your ability to relate to other people, right?
No, the intra.
Within yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So while we wait for Miss Sika to join us, I can definitely offer some recommendations for that. First thing I highly recommend is building a solid relationship with this person I call the gift giver. I call him the gift giver because he has embodied each of us with amazing gifts freely. He's not charging us anything, and that is God Almighty. Connecting with him and getting to know him, because think about it. If you're buying a car from a manufacturer and the manufacturer gives you a manual, but you take the car home and you choose to operate the car with your own your own knowledge, or you just want to do whatever, that car is probably going to misfunction, is going to do all kinds of things. But if you take the manual, follow the directions and the instructions, and do exactly what the manufacturer has asked you to do, you will find that the performance and all of the rewards that you want to get from that vehicle will be pleasurable to you. It's the same thing. For us to get to know ourselves, we have to get to know the person who made us, the person who gave us everything that we call life. That's my personal suggestion. Some people choose to give him all kinds of names. They call him energy source, they call him this, but look, he's God Almighty, point blank, period. That's who he is. And of course, humanity over the years and decades of evolution and centuries of evolution have tried to sidetrack him and put him out of the picture. So in order for you to have that groundedness, especially in the world that we live today, a lot is being thrown at us. Women, we wear so many hats. Expectations are higher than ever before. Is the time for us to get more grounded in knowing who he is, so that we can get to know ourselves better. And the confidence that comes from his validation is enough to let us step out there in the world with confidence and courage and boldness. And he allows us to see. Miss Sika is back. I'm going to let her take it because I know she definitely has a more intuitive response to your question. But for me, that's something that I would highly recommend. Intrapersonal relationship, very, very important to connect to the gift giver. And I call him that because I love the gifts that he's given to me to bless the world. So I always introduce him as the gift giver. All right, Miss Sika, you had a question, and Miss Nanette was just asking about how would you suggest that she goes about building
I think a practical way.
A practical way for her to
the interpersonal. It's
okay. Intra, I-N-T-R-A, intrapersonal.
Yes, the relationship with self. It's interesting because I think the internet is testing my unstoppable nature, and I'm unwilling to give up.
You should not. Please don't give up. Don't give up.
Okay. Yes. So you're looking at interpersonal. How do you build on that? For me, the first is for you to identify, I always say you can't be yourself by yourself. Okay. And so there are certain things you would need professional assistance, depending on what it is. So the first is to identify the root cause of your inability to connect with others. Okay. When you identify that, we call something a truth statement. So you create a truth statement that is counter what you're telling you that
she can turn her camera off.
you.
Turn your camera off.
So you're creating a, for instance, I am sought after. Can you hear me?
Yes, very
Hello?
well. Very well.
Okay. Okay. So basically, I'm saying the first step is to create a truth statement. And a truth statement is always the opposite of what your somatic self, which is your childhood self, your emotional self tells you. Okay. And then to align your behavior with the new truth of who you are. Okay, so I am loved, or people are resources that I can tap from, and I appreciate people for who they are. And you begin to take actions and make choices and behaviors that align, okay, with the truth statement. I don't know whether you getting me.
Yes. And yes, I was
Okay.
asking about intrapersonal, INTRA personal.
Oh, intrapersonal. That is, intrapersonal is relationship with self. Okay. So personal is relationship with self. And that way is the same as first of all, action with self is coming from. Okay, your feeling of invisibility, your feeling that you are not enough, and create a truth statement that is counter that feeling of I'm not enough, and develop behaviors that align. Your choices, your decisions, your actions are now going to align with the fact that I am enough. I am created to be loved and beloved, and I have the power to create loving and caring relationships and to receive same. Okay, so you will create truth statement and align your behavior with along those lines. So that's one example. I mean, for the sake of time, I think that's one example.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yes.
Thank you
Miss
too.
Janet, is that good? Did that serve you?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna call Miss Maureen to, you can put your hand down, ask your question, unmute yourself and ask your question. Then I'm going to call on Reverend Chidi after you. Thank you so much. Maureen Joseph, can you hear me? Miss Maureen, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I'm driving. I had to park.
Please be safe. Safety first, okay? Safety first.
Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maureen Joseph. I'm calling from Houston, Texas. My is just to put in maybe some words about what our speaker talked about. I really appreciate everything she said today, and I learned a whole lot, honestly. And I think for me, everything revolves around how we deal with our mindset. If sometimes I think our mind play games on us, so if we can work with our mind, if we can be able to align whatever purpose or plans we have and not let our mind play games on us, I think the paramount issue we all have as women, especially I'm not exempting myself, because most things she mentioned, I think I've seen some of those evidences, So I think working with our minds, or having a healthy mindset also, I think it will help us a whole lot as women. And that's just my input. And also for the event in Dallas on the 3rd of August, I also have a clothing line. I do Ankara outfits. So I don't know if anyone will want some of Ankara. You should also contact me or let me know as well.
Awesome. Oh, that is
You have to
Maureen.
link up with the
Maureen.
Joseph, you link up with Pastor Mercy.
Okay.
The Texas chairperson. She's here. You are also in the Texas group, so you can reach out to her and then take it from there.
Amazing. Yes, Miss Maureen, we look forward to seeing you in Dallas in a few weeks. All right, Reverend Chidi, you have the floor now. Yes, thank you so much for being so patient, sir. Thank you.
Patience is a fruit of the spirit, so we so we gotta keep it. All right. Thank you, everyone,
You
and
got, you
Like
got
that.
it. You got it there.
and thank you,
Igwe, Igwe Chidi.
our amazing speaker for tonight. Thank you so much. I just wanted to add something that I needed to draw everyone's attention to. You know what she was saying, right? Most oftentimes when we discuss these things, people have no idea how critical to life it is. That if you don't deal with those issues, right, what they have is they have a way of dictating your experience. And when they dictate your experience, it becomes so thick that it projects your future. So, in other words, you take the past, you make it the present, and you put it forward in the future. This is so important, and because what she was sharing is like the core of the whole thing. And so it's something I think that we need to highlight more. I know she has spoken about it in some aspect, but this is almost in every area of our lives, and everybody plays these programs. I prefer to use the word programs. Just like she started by saying, if you were here when I spoke the other day, she began talking about what your father said to you, what your mother said to you, what your environment said to you. That those things form the bulk of our programs that runs in our subconscious mind, and we know that 95% of the time is those subconscious programs that you run. So they become automatic behaviors. And so this is more important, and I think it's something that we need to highlight a little bit more. And then finally, if I want to add just one more thing to the question that was asked about intra personal, it's important people understand how the human system functions, because if you understand that, then it's easier for you to know why you're doing what you're doing. So if you want to work on your intrapersonal step, begin with a question. Just try to examine, how actually do you see yourself? That's the question you begin with. How do you see yourself? That's the first question. Asking such open-ended questions helps you to understand some certain things before you start filling in. And then my most amazing moderator had mentioned God. I think that God is the best reference point that we can use. And I try to show people it's as simple, it's not complicated, it's practical. The Bible said we are made in the image and likeness of God, not just an image, but in likeness. That means whatever God is what you are. If God is good, if you ever believe that God is good, then you are good. So if you start to think yourself like that, because sometimes life and the experience bends us that we don't see ourselves like that. And most times when we put our head to sleep, it's usually the negative things, the things you couldn't do, your failures, you failed this. Those are the things that replace in your subconscious mind, because the end point of every experience is an emotion. You replay those emotions over and over, you relive the thing, they stack in your subconscious mind, you keep running the programs over and over. So the best and easiest way to get out of it is to realize that, just like she said, if we start from the point of view of God, whatever God is, if God is love, that means you are love, nothing else. If God is kind, you are kind. If God is good, you are good. Whatever thing he is. So he is more of our reference point that we look for, and then he gives us he gives us like an image for which we can look up to. That is what it means to look away from every other thing around you and look up from your source, the place you came from, and then you start to build that from inside. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Always, always outstanding and very intuitive when you share your heart, Reverend Chidi. Thank you so much for that contribution. I hope everyone today has felt served and everyone has thoroughly taken something that they can use. It's not about the knowledge that we lack or access. It is what we do with what we have. The Bible talks about the parable of the sower. The seeds have been sown. So many seeds have been dropped. The reality of the matter is the state of your heart and your mind determines how well those seeds are going to grow. If the soil in your heart is good, the fruit will be good. You know, the Bible also talks about by their fruits you shall know them. It's not about what a person says. It's the fruits that their life is bearing. And what determines the fruit? It is the spirit of a man. The soul, that is the mind. What is the content of your mind? What are you running through your mind? Everything that Ms. Sika talked about today is how our mind determines our experience in this life. So you want to be very mindful of the state of your mind. That is your soul. That is the center point, the oppression. That's where the enemy comes into to whisper all of those things. What are you taking into your mind and allowing to grow? And then of course, we talked about the spirit, the soul, and of course your environment, your body, your physical state, all of the entrances, your eyes, your ears. What are you allowing to come in? What are you allowing to come in and interact with you as a spirit being, as a physical being? So all of those things will now determine all of the knowledge you're acquiring, how well it grows, what kind of fruit it bears. You know, some people will come to events like this and they will hear all of the amazing information and they go back home and it's business as usual. Some people will come to events like this, they go back home and it's like there is fire on their feet and they're now trying to see what needs to change, and they start one step at a time, one day at a time, making those changes. And there are others who come in here, they get the knowledge, they want to make the changes, they try, and then they get a little bit down the road and it's like, I can do this, and they go back to their default setting. Which one are you going to be? And what determines the longevity and transformational change that you experience is connected and tied to how well grounded you are. So I think, you know, the question that Ms. Nanette asked was a really good question. Intrapersonally, we need to go back and do that soul searching, soul work, just like Reverend Chidi indicated. You have to ask yourself these questions. Ms. Sika also mentioned it as well. You have to ask yourself the questions, because no matter how much we want so much good for you, in fact, God is good, right? And he wants all the good for us. But guess what is happening in the world? Just because God wants it for us, does it mean that is our experience? But that can be your experience, because I know one thing for certain, that no matter how bad the world is, if you anchor yourself to the right things, connect with the right people, stay in the right environment, do the right things, and connect lateral to God, just connect vertically to him, and then horizontally, in all of these pieces being put together, you will begin to see the transformational change you need. And of course, that 5-year goal, let me remind us all, remember, when Reverend Chidi spoke, he talked about a 5-year mandate. We need to be intentional about developing ourselves. Socio-economic development, that is the goal, that is the mission for AWLO now. And our president has also committed himself to bring in programs, resources, tools, whatever we need to ensure that AWLO members are empowered and they can be independent, so that way, in these days that we're going into, AWLO can stand strong, not just the organization, but the members. You know, we're not one of those organizations that we talk about success, but our members are not experiencing it on a cellular level. Everybody has to experience the success that AWLO is known for, and it's all up to us to do the things that are necessary to do that. So I just want to say a huge thanks to everybody for coming through from July 1st to today. We have showed up and we have enjoyed all of these master classes. I want to say thank you to our president, our leader, our founder, the emperor, the champion of women, the king of women, the father of us all, the lover of this community, the husband to the first lady, and the father of amazing children. Honorable Atai, we want to honor you and recognize you today for the man that you are. 15 years, he said, no be moi, no be beans, no be yam, nothing. It is the grace of God. So
that's why I'm running it up with amen.
Amen. See you all tomorrow for the grand finale and celebration. Miss Sika, thank you so much. We love you. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Have a good night. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night. night. Good night. Good
Good
night.
night.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Good
See you
night.
Good night,
tomorrow.
everyone. Good night. Good night.
Good night,
Bye.
Reverend Chidi. Thank you,
Good night.
sir. See you all tomorrow. Have a good night.